Welcome to the Coaches Show tonight for Lion Nation Podcast. For Leander Lions football, we're here at GuacoTaco, and we want to give a big shout-out to GuacoTaco here at Lakeline and Crystal Falls Parkway for allowing the Leander Lions football team to show up tonight. We want to thank all the other sponsors that are here tonight. Let me go ahead and name them as before we start. Thrive Realty, Modern Shade, PK Custom Pools, Quality Moving and Storage, LOA Construction and Austin Roofing, and Funk.com. So, Coach Price is here tonight. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you again.
Yes, sir.
And before we really get into the Coaches Show, we got to go back to the end of the game that we just had against Manor. I watched it again before the broadcast here tonight. I didn't see an offsides.
Yeah, that's tough for everybody involved in that game. I mean, everybody. It was pretty hard to go back and rewatch it. I think our kids played really hard last week and did a lot of things to put themselves in a position to win, and for it to come down to that is really pretty tough. And, the attitude the kids have taken into it this week at practice is we just have to make sure we're not in that situation again, make sure that, we're not playing games down to the wire like that, and that's a good attitude to take from it, but it is tough.
Yeah, because when I watched the replay 30 minutes before I came up here, I saw on the offensive side a kid moving his foot back. No flag was called.
Sure.
But yet they call an offsides, but I didn't see a flag thrown in the air. I didn't see a lot. The kids are running across the field. I'm yelling, Lions win, Lions win, and then suddenly, oh, wait, there's an offsides. Let's move them back 5 and let them re-kick it.
Yeah, there were a couple of things kind of wrong with it.
What did they tell you? I mean, what did they say to you? Did they come up to you, or what did they do?
They because of the location of the flag, it's not direct communication with that particular official, so it's just communication across the field with the linesman on our side and the head ref, and they just gave us a number. When it's happening real time, it's hard to go back and say, okay, was everybody lined up correctly? But we have seen the same video you guys have and kind of know what the situation is. They had a formation issue, as well as the guy kind of moving his foot a couple of times, and so there are a lot of things that were tough about that. And unfortunately, there's not any recourse for that or anything. You just got to move on, and that's kind of been the attitude we've taken into it. Is that one's over, and it's time to get ready for Pflugerville. Yep.
No, that was a tough one. That was a heartbreaker. Now looking at just the district, 4 teams are at 1-0. Weiss, Anderson, Manor, and Cedar Park, and 4 teams are 0-1. Leander, Pflugerville, Hendrickson, Georgetown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early in the season. Everybody's got a shot.
Sure. Yeah. This district is one of the toughest in the state of Texas. I really do believe that. Week in and week out, you're going to play a tough opponent, and week in and week out, you have a chance to come out on top. So it's going to be a dogfight every week with everyone we play, but we also have that a really good chance to be successful every week. So, we're excited about that part and are looking forward to playing out this season because it's going to be a lot of fun.
So the 2 games that the Lions have not been on top of the scoreboard, each game has been by 2 points.
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking to see, but it's also encouraging.
Sure. Yeah, we played each game, again, really close. And, in each of those games you have, a point of the game where you kind of wish you had some things back or, that's just part of it. But, to have these guys fighting until the very last second in each one of those games is going to pay off for us in the long run. I mean, ultimately, we're going to be in those tight games, like I said, all year long. And we're going to, we've had the experience to go out and play in that situation, and we're going to have those chances to be on the other side of that scoreboard when we get those. And
it's not only just because of homecoming, but you feel a different atmosphere around the team, around the school. We had success in some other sports, but I think it seems like with the COVID and everything, it seems like it's the right time now for Leander Lion football. you kind of sense it with the players, you sense it with the fans, you sense it with the attitude.
Sure.
Is there anything, or is it just one of those things where it just seems to be working?
It just kind of came together. I know that every game we played at home has probably been the loudest game I've ever been a part of. I mean, it's just the crowd is really into it. The sideline is awesome. The kids are really into it, and they're really supporting each other. And we're making plays, and things are good things are happening for us. And so all of that stuff together makes it a really fun environment to be a part of, and it all feeds off of each other. When the crowd is excited, we're a little bit better, and when we're making plays, they're more excited. So, it's a really good thing that we have rolling right now. We just got to keep it going and keep playing hard.
And as a broadcaster, and I know Chuck, you can follow up with me on this, but it's so much more exciting to call close games.
Sure.
And games that are victorious rather than, and I don't want to. A few years ago, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, we'd be trying to find something positive. But you see something positive every play for these kids.
Yeah.
And it's a different atmosphere, and you've brought that. It comes from the top down, and you've brought that in, and it's starting to build. We knew it wouldn't be automatic.
Sure.
With the players and, the change in coaching and the new players coming in, but you just see it trickling down, and it's starting to catch. And it's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
The coaching staff has done an amazing job with each of their individual segments and bringing those kids together, individually. And then, our coordinators do a really good job of putting together great game plans. And, ultimately it's going to come back to how the kids are. And we have a great bunch of kids. They enjoy playing the sport. They like being around each other. They like being around us. We love being around them. And so all of that has been really, really good for what we're seeing now. I mean, it's just about the culture and the environment that you create, and the kids have a lot to do with that. And we're really proud of it.
Yep. And I know you doing just the PA at home. It's a different atmosphere.
It is, and what I was going to say is that this community is to be good again. And they went through a period of time where wins were hard to come by. There were a couple of at least 2 no-win seasons, a couple of 1-win seasons. And this is a community that was used to not only competing for a playoff spot, but making the playoffs and making a run.
Sure.
So you can sense that the atmosphere is changing. And I'll just use an example of attendance. You mentioned the crowd being the loudest ones that you've been around. For several years, when the band performed before halftime, we'd be like, wow, look at this crowd. And then by halftime, the crowd had dwindled because all of those band parents had left. You didn't see that this weekend. You didn't see that during the Glenn game. Those people that would typically come and leave by halftime, they're staying.
Sure.
Because there's something to be excited about. And it's something that's palpable. It's in the air. You can sense it. And I agree with Mark that definitely comes from the top. So
I appreciate that. I mean, we have a lot of great programs at Leander, and they're bringing in a lot of people with them, and the crowd is there to start. So we're glad that our kids are performing in a way that makes them want to stay. They're doing it again. I can't say enough about our group. They're really doing an amazing job.
So we have Pflugerville coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about Pflugerville. What do you see in them this year compared to past years? I know we've been keeping up with them, but what's special about them this year? What do you see?
Honestly, Pflugerville, they're big weapons offensively. We've actually seen them for the entire time I've been here. The quarterback and the 2 backs they have started as sophomores on varsity, and they're seniors now, and they're talented kids. Offensively, it kind of runs through those three guys. I think that we have a little bit of an advantage with our defensive line against their offensive line. Our kids are playing really physical and really tough down in the trenches, but they are certainly talented at the skill position, and they operate very well defensively. I think Coach Thomason and Coach Bailey were kind of making a joke that it's kind of the same Pflugerville defense over the last 40 years. I mean, they have a system. That's what they do. and they're really good at it. It helps us, game planning wise, to know that there's going to be some consistency, and our guys on the offensive line know exactly what they have to do because it's the same look, almost every time. So, there are some things that are to our advantage, and they have some talented players that we're going to have to contend with.
Well, and they have a lot of skill guys as well offensively. And one of the things that, over the years of going to play at Pflugerville, that as a Leander fan you kind of get annoyed by, and it as a PA guy I can relate a little bit to him. But every time Pflugerville gets a first down, you have to hear that guy go, "First down, Panthers!" Can y'all minimize that a little bit?
We will work on that. If we don't hear it once, it's a great night.
I would love that. That would be fantastic.
No, and over the past couple weeks, we've seen the offense open up a little bit more. A few more passes, some little bit of misdirection, things in the flats, opening it up because obviously they're keying on Franklin and Parrott on the run. But because they're keying on that, I've seen that you guys have opened it up a little bit, and that seems to be working. And obviously it's going to be all season long. You're going to make adjustments. You had different formations this game. You may have different formations against Pflugerville to kind of mix it up, which it's kind of that chess match between the teams. And we noticed that in Manor, one team would make an adjustment, the other team would make an adjustment, then they'd go back and make another adjustment. So I know you guys are doing that on the fly, and it's great to see the kids respond.
Yeah. That's probably been one of the biggest improvements is how they've handled, in between series adjustments, which is it's just naturally hard to do. You rep something all week long, and then all of a sudden it's kind of scrapped after the second or third series, and we're going to do something else. And so they've been really good with the coaching staff about taking in the information and then actually going out and executing it. And the same thing at halftime. Halftime adjustments have been a lot easier this year just because a lot of these guys have played a lot of football now. We have some of our guys on the offensive line that have played a couple of seasons as a varsity offensive line, and that makes a big difference.
Yes,
so it's been good for that. We can make more adjustments now than we could last year, and we were getting better at it last year. So.
Well, you have a couple coaches here. Which coaches do you want to have them thrown into the fire up here?
Yeah, I have Coach Eric Thomason. He's our run game coordinator. He's here with us. And I also have Coach Art Rios, who is joining us from Comfort High School. Has just done a really good job with our helping Coach Thomason with the offensive line and with our freshman group. So,
well Coach Rios, he doesn't get to get his face on the camera because we're having a little video difficulty. Are you okay with that, Coach?
All right, well, come on up. Yeah. Hey, appreciate it. Good
thank
luck
you guys.
this Friday.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Good luck on Friday. Yeah. We'll be cheering.
Coach, appreciate you coming up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Oops, let me scoot this back a little bit. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Well, I grew up originally from San Antonio area. I went to school at South San Antonio High School. Went to college for 2 years at Tech, and then graduated from Angelo State. So
you weren't real happy with that game on Saturday, then I take it.
No, I was not. No, I was not. No.
So Coach said that you work with the offensive line and the freshmen as well?
Yes, sir. I do work with the offensive line with Coach Thompson.
Yeah, what do you do with the offensive line? So explain that to the people listening on the broadcast. What do you do on a weekly basis, and what do you teach these guys on the offensive line?
Well, we're just working on to make sure their footwork is good, and usually Coach Thompson will work with one side of the line. I'll work with the other half. Usually the backside, trying to prepare them for backside blocks and cuts and those kinds of things that we're working on.
And do you do that based on film, based on the front that the defense is running that week, or do you kind of have a base and you go off of that each week?
Well, we have a scheme that we usually work with, and a set plan that we're working on. But it also works with our game plan and the things that we're doing. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay, great.
So we have to base it off our game plan and what the plan is for that week.
So let's talk about the freshmen. You also work with them.
Yes, sir. I work with the freshman red team, also with the blue team, mostly with the offensive line once again. And that's just preparing them to get ready for the next level, teaching them the base of the offense and the things that we're expecting. getting them ready for the next level that they're so they can be ready for either JV or varsity next year.
Right. And what's the biggest difference that you see with the freshmen compared to the varsity juniors or seniors? What's the biggest difference?
You just see there's a higher level of intensity as they get older. They know the expectations and the things that we're trying to do, trying to get into the playoffs and eventually get to that state championship level that we're looking for.
What about maturity? What's the difference between the freshmen versus the juniors or seniors?
Well, there's a lot of growing up to do, and a lot of times you have a lot of awkwardness with the freshmen. They're trying to find themselves and find their body and grow into their body as they're going through. So you see a lot of awkwardness as they're trying to get through stuff and getting through their blocking and their scheme, and a lot of times they trip over their own feet.
Right.
So you're just like, hey, slow down, take your steps, be ready. So you have to slow everything down and make sure they know what they're doing.
And it's amazing the difference that you may see in a freshman football player versus a junior or a senior.
Yes, sir.
Just because their body's growing, they're working out, they're eating right, and they're just naturally getting bigger and stronger.
Yeah, and they're getting bigger and stronger, and that's what we're working on also. We lift every day, twice, 2 to 3 times a week with the freshmen after school, and try to get them stronger and ready, for, either JV or varsity level, reps.
Right. So what do you do besides coaching?
A lot of that's taken up. I do coach baseball also. I work with Coach Grissom on the under baseball team this coming season. I've coached for 23 years, so excited to continue doing what I'm doing. So
what do you like to do outside of football?
Outside of football, I spend time a lot of time with my family and my kids. My daughter is attending the University of Texas right now, her freshman year, and my son plays football and does all that stuff. Is going to give it a go at soccer since the school that he's going to has a soccer team, so he was going to play soccer this year.
Okay. Where's he headed to?
He's in Huddle. He plays at Huddle Middle School. So they also have a powerlifting team, so he's going to go into powerlifting. He loves being in the weight room, so. Yeah, so he loves doing those kinds of things. So
you don't see a lot of soccer players that hit the weights like that.
No, you don't. But Dad's a coach.
Does he play fullback?
No, he's actually a offensive guard and linebacker.
No, I meant in soccer.
Oh, he's a goalkeeper.
Okay, well that makes sense that he'd be hitting the weights.
He likes to stop the ball, and I don't know how he does that because it would drive me crazy to see a soccer ball flying on my head.
So what's your favorite drill to run, offensive lineman?
I like working on fundamentals and basics. I love driving the sled, and I love working two-mans, and then trying to drive somebody backwards and move the piles and those kinds of things. Some of my favorite things to do. I mean, it's what I've always done. I enjoy doing it. I haven't coached offense in a long time. I've been a defensive coach for a long time, so excited to be there and moving and helping any way I can to with watching the defensive scheme and what the defense is doing to help out our offense.
Uh-oh.
That can turn you down if it's closer to your mouth.
No, we're good, I think.
Yeah, we're having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. And that's the first time this year for this broadcast that we've had problems, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, of course. No, but appreciate you coming up. Nice meeting you.
No problem.
Most definitely.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good luck on Friday, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, next coach, let's have Coach Thomason come on up.
We're familiar with Coach Thomason. Yep. Do you want me to try to fix the video real quick?
Sure, if you can.
I have to stop the stream to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. If you can, sure.
Let's try.
Come on up. Have a seat. How are you doing? Good to see you.
We're going to try something, Coach, see if we can get your pretty face on video here.
Oh, sweet.
Let's see.
For tuning in, but Coach, appreciate you coming up.
You're welcome.
We talked a little bit with Coach Price about some new wrinkles that you're, putting in the offense. We see a little bit each week, and it's kind of fun doing the broadcast, seeing the differences on the field. Sometimes you go no huddle.
Right.
Sometimes you're in the huddle. Sometimes you're in the spread. Sometimes you're in more of a stacked offense.
Right.
So how do you approach that? Not going into what you're doing this week, of course, but how do you approach that? Is that kind of a group decision? Is that something that you look at on the other team and say, I think we have matchup we match up better on this? How do you go about that?
Yeah, so that's what the weekends are for. So we'll go in the the film room, and we'll see something on film, and we'll see a set we like, maybe another team ran. See how they played it. We see maybe we can take some advantage of that. So that goes into it a little bit. And then we also put guys, we're not afraid to put guys in spots to match up with people. So, if we want to go into an overload set and move a tackle somewhere else, we'll switch guys around to match up with people and kind of go good on good and try to get an advantage there. Each week has looked differently because we will try to, find a good set or a matchup and attack you a certain way.
And I think that's great that people that watch the film on Leander, they say, well, they're not predictable.
Right.
I mean, obviously the strength is a running game because that's the strength of the team, but you're throwing more.
Right.
And you don't have the same offensive lineup every single time. You don't have the same formation every single time, which obviously if you're watching film makes them work harder.
Right. Yeah, so, hopefully, as a defensive coordinator, you turn on our film in 4 games and you have, 25 formations to break down and try to figure out. So, I know that could be frustrating for those guys that are doing that.
And we haven't seen that over the past couple of years, kind of the base formation and things. And it was, before a lot of, the coaches are current, but it was like really predictable.
Right.
But I don't see that now.
Right.
And I think it's paying dividends not only for you as a coach, for the players, for the fans, and for the team. I mean, it's just something that obviously if the kids can't pick it up, you wouldn't be running it.
Sure.
So you're able to do that with this group.
Right. So, I think we've really kind of grown over the last 2 years and really the last kind of 6 games. COVID year, we didn't have much time to work with them in spring, and guys were gone, and Zoom meetings. And as the season went along last year, we kind of were getting the system together. We kind of find ourselves, Georgetown and Hendrickson the last 2 games of the year, and then just kind of carried that over to this year. And so it's been a lot of fun to be able to be as flexible as we are, and we're still growing and adding things that kind of complement what we are right now. So we kind of found out and have our identity, and now we just throw in some wrinkles that complement it, give us some answers for teams. We're just looking for answers.
Yeah.
Try to find different ways to hit them, and if they adjust to us a certain way, what are the answers? So.
Yeah, and that's great because what we were talking about just a few minutes ago, the boys are responding to that.
Right.
And you're not. It doesn't seem like you're stuck with 3 or 4 plays or 1 or 2 formations. If they're throwing a wrinkle, you try and counter that.
Right.
Then they counter it, so you're going back and forth, little chess game back and forth with offense and defense. And we didn't see too many penalties this last week.
Right.
Some weeks we'll see a few false starts. Sometimes we won't, and that's natural.
Right.
But you didn't see a 25, 30 flags going up in the air, and that's a compliment only to the players but to the coaches as well.
Sure. Yeah, the one Vista game was a little kind of outlier. The OC is from there, and so they had our signals, and we had to kind of function in a way that the kids aren't used to and trained to, and too many obviously that night. It's one of our goals is to have 0 pre-snap penalties. We really stress it, and we like to control the tempo. We want to get up there and change the snap count on them a lot. Really stress that. So
yeah, no, it's exciting to see the players. It's exciting to see the plays that are being run out there, and it seems like the kids are excited.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun, and the kids are having a lot of fun. It's for me, I like watching the excitement and that they're having, and they're having success, and so that makes me happy. We just got to keep it going, and they come in here, today was like nothing happened, and they were ready to go back to work, and we went out there for, a good 2 hours and got a good head start on this week. So
So what are you looking at on the Pflugerville defense? What are their strengths?
So, this is my 5th year here. We've played Pflugerville every year, and so not much has changed. We know they're going to be a 4-down team. They're going to jump in and out of 1 high safeties and 2 high safeties. They're going to bring the pressures that they bring. So we kind of are ready for that. Obviously they're going to have some wrinkles for us that we're not aware of, but those will have to be some in-game adjustments. They're going to play hard. Their D-line, they have their gaps. Their linebackers are downhill. They're a physical team. They always have been. It's kind of a good old slobber knocker when these two teams play. And so, that's our style of football too. So, we're ready for the challenge and should be a good game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Should be a great game coming up on Friday. And, Chuck, you got anything?
Well, no, just, you say we play them every year. We've been playing them every year.
Sure.
I mean, minus a few years for over 100 years.
It's a big game. It's a big rivalry game.
I go back. I played Pflugerville and I played Leander, and I'll admit I didn't like either one when I was a player, but I never in my entire life have liked Pflugerville. So.
Yeah.
Even when their uniforms were being used on Friday Night Lights, I didn't like them then either.
Well, appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, thank
Good
you, guys.
luck. Thank
yes,
you.
sir.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Coach.
Thank you.
All right, well, we have a couple players that we want to bring up, and Coach gave me some juniors, so you juniors need to be ready. Let's just go in alphabetical order. Peyton Gordon, come on up. Good to see you. How are you? Good. How are you? I know we got a game going on here. We won't keep you too long, but no, appreciate you coming up and tell us how the year's going.
It's been going great. Practice is awesome, having the JV help out the offense a little bit. We recognize those guys that are really good on the scout defense, so that's always good to bring those guys in, let them know that they're doing their job right. But I just feel like we're clicking on all cylinders this year, more as a team than I've felt when I've been in this program so far. So it's just been great.
Yeah. So tell everyone that's listening, I know you play a little bit of running back, what is it, a slot
yeah,
or
slot,
a halfback
tight end,
or
yeah.
whatever you want to, what do you call that? Is it a slot?
It's like H-back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been able to be more of a utility guy for the offense and been able to block, go out for a pass, get a couple runs,
What do you like best? Blocking, catching, or running?
Probably running.
Running?
Because I just lower my shoulder and run through people. So I can take the contact pretty well. So blocking's not, it's not anybody's favorite job to do, but you got to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got to be ready for that. And catching is always fun, too, because you get put against a little guy, go up and get the old moss, and it's always fun.
No, but I've been watching you, and I know I've coached you throughout the years as well, and it's been fun watching a lot of you get up to this level now and be successful. And that's what's fun as not only a dad, but as a former coach of yours to watch you, whether it's in baseball or in basketball, in football, and congratulations.
Thank you.
It's fun watching you guys. I know a lot of the players, and I know Chuck has coached a lot of the players before, and, my son is your age, and it's just fun to watch you guys grow and develop and not only have success, but failure as well.
Yeah.
And learning from the failure and improving from that, and I think that's the key to being a good athlete, a good person, knowing that you are going to fail, and how you react to that and improve from that. And
totally.
It's just fun watching all you guys out there right now, and it's fun calling your name out there on the broadcast and watching you run or block or go out for the pass, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between this year and last year?
So many things. There's our offensive line has been put well together by Coach Thomason, and they know everything. Start of the season, they were clicking and like they've been nonstop working super hard and been able to do everything that they've been asked to do. And I just think that having them like that at the beginning of the season has been a game changer. They've been able to block so well for Franklin, and obviously it shows. Franklin's getting crazy yards, scoring like 2 touchdowns every game, and it's just, I mean, if we have that going, like.
Well, and it's a credit to the offensive line. Not that there aren't other weapons that the Lions can utilize, but if you're preparing for Leander and you're an opposing coach, you're going to try to stop Alex Franklin first. Mm-hmm. And if the offensive line can still overcome schemes and tricks of the defensive coordinator, plus, granted, he's got a little bit of talent as well. But, that combination is it's been quite impressive.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot of credit, despite his size and just the attitude that he runs the football with, it's insane. He's looking for contact half the time. So you don't typically see that anymore.
Not only that, but he's able to keep his balance in the spin moves, and he does a lot of things. And he's got good balance and
I say he's looking for talent. He's actually looking for yards, but if there happens to be a defender between him and those yards, he's going to lower his shoulder and run right over them. Yep. So,
good luck this Friday. Looking forward to seeing you out there on the field. And thanks for coming up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Who we got?
We got Joe Vasquez coming up. I see you guys are preoccupied with another game on the TV tonight.
Yeah, there's a Cowboy-Eagle match.
Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me up here.
So, now I was talking with Peyton, and same thing. I've coached you over the past couple years and been watching you do things, and baseball, football, all these sorts of things. So it's fun watching you guys get to this level.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And I know, you guys do all these crazy things with my son, and it's kind of fun to watch. But to watch you guys out on the field is fun. And it's, great seeing you out there. And so tell all the people listening what you play. What's your favorite part of football?
Well, I used to be a linebacker, but stuff just happened, and they thought I'd be better on the D-line. So they put me at D-end, and that's where I've been since the start of the year. And, I mean, I like it there. I get playing time. I'm not complaining, and I'll do anything to try to go out there and win a game. So it's fun. I mean, I got to go out there and do what I got to do, so I'm not complaining.
What's the biggest difference between, obviously, a linebacker, your setback, more of a read, versus a defensive end where you're basically – do they send you every play, or is it more you hold up and read the play, or does it depend on the defense?
It's just right there in your face. Like, as a linebacker, you kind of sit back and see what's going on, kind of go to the ball and all that. But as a DN, you're right there going against somebody that's trying to throw you to the floor or do something nasty to you, and you're like, man, I can't let that happen. Especially me being a shorter guy. I mean, it's harder going against somebody that's like 6'5", 300 pounds. I'm like, oh, my goodness.
Well, you do have some leverage because in football, low man wins, almost every time. So
that is true.
Have you been working on any spin moves, any type of your techniques?
Nah,
coaches like that?
Coaches just try to keep it very simple and just go straight at the guy. If he's pulling, chase. If he's coming right at you, keep going. If you have a puller coming, chop him down. I mean, for the most part, it's very simple. And I feel like our defense is starting to get better at that, and we're able to start putting in more stuff now that our defense is going all the time. Like, we just think so much now. Like, before, I feel like we weren't able to ask as many questions, or like we'd have to work more on the simple things, where now, like, we're actually starting to get it, and we're actually able to put in more stuff on the defense.
And that pays off on the field as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're very predictable, either offense or defense, or you're only doing one or two things, people can take you apart. But if you can throw in the wrinkles and do the other things and learn, and you have the basic down, but do the other things, it makes you a much better team and a player.
As a defense, we study a lot of film, and we know a lot of stuff that's going on the offense. Like, if they line up in a certain formation, we're able to call it out and be like, watch this, watch that. So just us being able to do that, it also helps the defensive coaches be able to put more stuff in there, so we could probably stop something if it's coming right at us or if we know it's coming right at us. It's pretty nice. So they're just having to run 2 plays over and over again.
Right. So going back to last week, the Manor game, obviously a heartbreaker.
Mm-hmm. That one hurt the team, but it's in the past.
Are you
Can't do
past
nothing
that
about it.
now? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's you think about it, you're like, man, we won that game and they took it away from us, but now you're here this week.
Yeah, I think
you got to move on. You just got to get to the next game.
I think everybody we say little things about the game, but we're past it. We're not worried about it no more. We're just keep pushing. We're worried about Pflugerville coming up and what's there to come. I mean, it's over. Nothing we can do about it. We're studying film on Pflugerville already. We already got stuff put in.
Yeah.
I mean, we want that game. So
what's the attitude of the team overall? Different than last year?
I feel like last year is kind of like they wanted to play and they wanted to win, but I mean this year I feel like everybody just they want it more. And it's more like not a team, it's more like a brotherhood, to be honest. Everybody's just there for each other. Somebody goes down on the sidelines, we're there to pick them up. I mean, it's a real supportive group this year.
And that
We're all
goes,
there for each other.
You really have to learn to win, and you know, you may have won a lot at a Pee-wee level or a middle school level or even sub-varsity, but it's a different ball game when you get up there on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
The speed is definitely faster. You know, even just on the sidelines, just
It's louder.
Yeah,
You
the
can't hear
crunching. I mean,
There's just a lot of stuff that goes into it because I know as a middle school, we won a lot of games.
right.
As freshmen, we won a lot of games. As JV, we won a lot of games, but varsity's just different. They're faster, they're bigger. There's a lot more noise. It's not just, oh, I could get my call and get ready. It's, oh, I really have to focus and get my call, and it's a lot of communicating that has to go on.
and just from the outset, it seems like the players are buying in,
Yeah.
and that goes a long way. Just that's from our perspective. Do you see that as well?
I think we finally believe. Before, it's kind of like, oh, I go to Leander. Everybody says we're bad. Oh, it is what it is.
Well, it's just Leander.
Yeah.
That became a thing, and it should never have been a thing.
This year, we're Leander football. We
Yeah.
go win a game.
I don't think people are thinking it's just Leander when they look at their schedule. They may have before the season started, but now especially the coaches, they're like, no, you better get ready for
Yeah.
these guys.
Start watching some more film.
Right. Well, that's just it. There's enough weapons that even when you watch film, we see, and Mark's brought it up a few times, you see the offense is growing. The playbook is being opened up to sections and formations and plays that weren't used in the past.
Offense this year is doing amazing.
Yes.
I mean, our defense is trying to help them out
Defense
as
too.
much as we can. We try to get the ball for them just so they could go down and score. They're doing great this year, putting in new stuff. The coaching's doing amazing with them. We're really starting to use some more of our guys and starting to get the ball out and around and see
How
what
does
we
it
can
help
do.
you out in preparation for Friday during the times that you get to go against that offense?
Going against the O-line, they're pretty big, so I feel like it gets me ready for them. Because, I mean, I love the JV, and they help us out a lot, but they are a little bit smaller, and there's only so much that they can do. I mean, they get us ready for every varsity game every week. They bust their butts out there. I mean, without them, there's no way that we'd be able to be the defense we are. They're just amazing. I love those guys. Love them all to death.
No, it's good.
Those guys they're cool kids. Hope to see them on the field soon.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
going against that varsity, yeah, it tells you, all right, this is what a real Friday night game's like. So
Right.
it really gets you ready.
Well, we got a big one coming up on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Really
looking
hope we
forward
get
to
that
it.
one.
Definitely
We
looking
all
forward
are.
to it. I mean, everyone's excited now. I mean, we talked. The 2 losses have been by 2 points apiece. I mean, it's right there.
I don't even count those losses.
It's right there, and we're looking forward to. I know it's early in the season, but we're talking up here postseason play. Let's go.
Yeah,
let's
for
do it,
sure.
you know?
I think a lot of the guys are. We're focusing on the season, but I feel like a lot of us are
Just
like
go 1-0 this week.
Yep, 1-0 this week and keep building, but that's something we can obviously and realistically talk about. The
Yeah.
team's there.
I think guys are finally starting to sell into it and
Yeah.
really believe. To where last year it's like, this year it's like, nah, we can.
Yep,
So I think we're all getting ready for that.
and that's a big difference.
Oh,
big
yeah.
difference. Well, thanks for coming up.
Thank you for having me up here.
Appreciate it. And let's go back through our sponsors real quick before we end this, and we apologize for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, we may be having stream issues at the moment.
But
go ahead.
Before we go out, let's definitely thank Thrive Realty, Modern Shade, PK Custom Pools, Quality Moving and Storage, LOA Construction and Austin Roofing, and Funk.com. We want to thank one more time GuacoTaco for allowing the podcast tonight.
Give them a round of applause, guys.
Yep. And the coaches and the players, thank you very much. And we will get this sorted out, but we will see you Friday night at the field where Leander will be taking on Pflugerville. So that's the end of the podcast tonight, and we'll see you on Friday.